President Donald J. Trump, sir, you got two badasses, actually three. Stacy Seabrook. Then there's Millbilly. Yeah. That guy is a badass. Doesn't have very many videos out. But the videos he has out, badass. I can recognize badass when I see badass, I'll tell you that much. Now, we have differences of opinions about how many Raptors. And we have differences of opinions on the bones, Rapport and the bones. Okay. However, ring, ring, ring. Click. Hello. This is Don at Auto Trader. I don't hear anything about Steven making a phone call. He says he made a phone call. He called 8-ish, 8:12, whatever. And this is what Stephen Avery, if it was me, would have said. Hi, Don, this is Steve. Oh, hi, Steve. Yeah, Avery Auto Salvage, a business that does business with Auto Trader, you know. He's only put a handful of ads out so far. They know the Avery brothers. They know Avery Auto Salvage. They know it. They know the address. Okay. Now, I would have said, Don, yeah, this is Rick Boyd. I'd like to put an ad in for my sister, Becky, okay? So I think that Stephen Avery would have said, this is Stephen Avery and I'd like to place an ad for my sister Barb, or Barbara. And you want to put that on the Janda account, same damn address. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you that you need to change the phone number. You see, Tom Janda asked Stephen to sell his little red Plymouth, okay? And now Barb's asking Stephen to sell her van, just van. Now, Don spits out this page, and it says Dodge minivan. And Stephen Avery, me, is placing an ad for a Plymouth Voyager, which is not a Dodge minivan. So how did we get from Stephen Avery saying Plymouth Voyager, 1998, to a 1998 Dodge minivan? What, Stephen doesn't know his fucking vehicles? Mm-mm. Now, they never identified that sheet that Don filled out Okay. He never identified Stephen Avery as being the caller. Just someone being B. Janda. But it's never been positively proven to have been Stephen's call. So Steve calls Auto Trader, wah, 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 and tells Auto Trader, from Stephen to Auto Trader, somebody at Auto Trader, that this is the agenda that it's Stephen Avery calling, selling a Plymouth Voyager for his sister Barb on the Janda account with the Janda account phone number for Tom Janda. That's what the sheet should have read. But the sheet that we get back from Don is, although the address is correct, B. Janda, no. See, Stephen Avery would have said, he said Tom Janda, right? Then if he was going to list somebody else or change the name on the already pre-existing account, it'd be Barb Janda or add Barb Janda to the account. But it's not Tom Janda and B Janda, but it's Tom Janda and Barb Janda, or it's T Janda and B Janda. Okay? But it's not going to be the mix of the two, generally. Then we go to the phone number. Well, Tom was living at the house, and he had Tom's Janda's phone number, and Barb's living at the house, and she's got Barb's phone number. So there's two phone numbers going to the same house at the same time. Okay, Tom leaves. He takes his phone number with him. Now guess what? That's a new fucking number. That's a new fucking number. But yet, it traces back to Scott Taddick. Still yet. And Scott Taddick had that phone number prior to moving in on the single-wide trailer on Highway 147. He had it at a previous address. That phone number that's on that form, that's Stephen Avery. So Stephen Avery wants Don to contact him, BIA, Scott Taddick. Answering machine. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. So we're going to assume that Tom Janda left that phone number or was living there or something, okay? But that phone number is associated with that house. And that is, in fact, Scott Taddick's phone number on that form. Don't tell me it's not. No. Don't tell me it's not. Scott Taddick had it at a previous address prior to moving in on the trailer on Highway 147. Okay? Now we come to, why is Don listing a Dodge minivan? Because, oh, and send that same girl out. Send the same girl out. Well, let's see now. According to Stephen, personnel, somebody at Auto Trader, gave him Teresa's phone number to call her directly. I think they would have added Teresa Halbach to the phone number. They didn't just give him a phone number and say, here's your photographer, unnamed. He's only met with her, what, 6 times that we know of, and he says she's been out there 15. He knows her name. Maybe in an interview somewhere he said he didn't know her name, but come on. Hi, bye, I don't know your name. You know? It should be, hi, Stephen, hi, Teresa. That's the way it should be. You'd think. Unless they're fucking dense. Teresa is going to tell Stephen Avery her name. on the phone. Hi, this is Teresa, photographer from Auto Trader. It's not the first time Stephen heard her name. No. So this piece of paper entered as evidence in a court of law, pretending to be the results of Stephen Avery's call-in, isn't made by Stephen Avery. His call went over there. We never heard anything from it. And this call, this sheet that was generated supposedly from Stephen Avery's call-in, isn't Stephen Avery's. See, the sheet that Stephen Avery would have been is Barb Janda, Tom Janda, whatever, but it had been on the same account, 1. 2, it would have had the phone number that was at the same address previous to the change of the phone number, 2. 3, he already knows Teresa's coming out, so why is he asking for Teresa and send the same one out? She showed up all the times before, and what does it matter to him? At least somebody's coming out, so why specifically say send the same girl out unless you didn't know who it was and you wanted to make sure that she got out there? What's Stephen got to do with it? He just wants to know if somebody's coming out, and it's more than likely Teresa. If it wasn't Teresa, it's somebody else, he doesn't give a shit. Here you go, here's my ads. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Business is business. Business is business. So that sheet that was entered in the court of law is fraudulent as fuck. How does Stephen Avery call in on a Plymouth Voyager and it end up being a Dodge minivan? That sheet is phony as fuck. How many discrepancies? Well, number 1, it's a different account discrepancy. Number 2, it's got Scott Tuddick's phone number. Number 3, it's listed for a Dodge minivan, not a Plymouth Voyager. And 4, send that same girl out. Somebody else called, and it sounds a hell of a lot like Scott Tuddick. Sounds a lot like Scott Tuddick. Or it sounds a lot like, I don't know, somebody else setting Scott Tuddick up. It sounds like somebody else is setting Scott Tuddick up. The question is how they know they were selling a van. How they know this shit. How they know Stephen cut his finger. You know, somebody was surveilling them. Either Scott Tuddick is up to his ass in this and he's went in cahoots with Ryan Hildegrass, which has Teresa's daily planner or pages out of it, connection. So Teresa's over there writing down an address on a piece of paper in her car on the day she comes up missing, and that piece of paper or that daily planner ends up in Scott's hands. Scott's not supposed to have it. There's a direct fucking link. And then we got Scott Tuddick's phone number on a lead form. Now, if Voyager identifies Stephen Avery as that number, 755, but yet Dietering, I think it is, yeah, he has it listed Tom Janda. So we got one cop saying that the phone comes back to Stephen Avery, which is one address, and the other one comes back to Tom Janda at another address, but the Tom Janda one, Dietering, all right, has that at the Michigan Exchange, not a Two River Exchange. That lead form was generated by 2 calls. Stephen Avery calling and an unknown caller calling. Now we know it's not Stephen Avery's. Stephen Avery's got shit canned. He might have been talking to a brick wall. There's nothing come from that. It all comes from the unidentified caller, which Stephen was not identified to be that caller for that lead sheet. He's assumed to be, but not proven to be. Did Stephen Stephen, yeah. Did you identify yourself as the caller, yes or no? Did you identify that you was going to list Barb Janda? Did you know that they were creating another account other than the Janda account? Like, did you add Barb Janda? Or did you say B Janda for some reason or another? Did you give them Scott Taddock's phone number? Stephen, yeah. Did you tell Don at Auto Trader that you was listing your sister's Dodge minivan when it's a Plymouth Voyager? You know, we don't hear that. So what we need, and Steve, yeah, if you want to walk out, write down exactly what you said to somebody other than Don at Auto Trader. Because I don't think Don's aware of this. Don's being snowed by somebody else. So why is there two calls, one going to somebody over here, which Don doesn't get, and Don gets this? Don's being used as a pawn. Okay? So there's two phone calls going on the same line to get two different people? What the fuck is going on here? I thought Don was answering all the phone calls coming in. If she did, it would be Stephen Avery and then there'd be Janda, and she'd say, hey, we got two phone calls. Yeah, Stephen called, we know him, Avery Auto Salvage, right? Yeah. But here's this other call coming in from somebody else, mumbling, all right, and pretending to be. See, Stephen Avery, you would have said, I'm selling for my sister Barb. This other person is saying, I'm B. Janda. And Barb is not a guy's name, all right? You see, I'm Barbara Janda, a dude, you know? So that's not working out. So B. Janda, it's not the same. That lead form was not generated by Stephen Avery's phone call. It was generated by a phone call of an unknown caller, and Stephen Avery's lead form from his phone call to Auto Trader has never been filled out, or if it had been filled out, it's been shit canned, but you can't find it. It's not there. But the point of the matter is this one thing. That lead form is fraudulent as fuck. Brought upon the court. There's no fucking way out of it, people. There's no way out of it. If that piece of paper was identified as being from Stephen Avery to Auto Trader, and it's been proven by me that it's not, there you go. Well, roll them up. You're out of there. Why not? Zellner. But Zellner, now, she has that phone number as being, here's the thing about it. That address, yeah, and that 755 phone number, that 755 phone number actually belongs to Scott Taddock. It's been identified as belonging to this other address over here, which is Stevens, and it's been identified as being the John residence. It's got three different addresses for the same phone number at the same space and time. Oh, and the Jan is supposed to have two lines going in there simultaneously. Now, oh, and Stephen Avery, yeah. It's Dodge minivan versus Plymouth Voyager. Two different fucking vehicles. Oh, and send the same girl out. I don't know that it's Teresa Marie Halbach. I don't know her name. But yet I got her phone number. And usually when you pick it up, this is Teresa, you know, I can't come to the phone right now. So he knows her name. But whoever called in didn't. Get out of that, motherfucker. Get out of that. So, President Donald J. Trump, sir, Stacy Seabrook and Millbilly, they're badass.